Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? My name's Joe Cronin. This is Joe Cronin Show. Buddy Murphy, Andrade, AEW. We got a lot of stuff going on here as far as people exiting or potentially exiting AEW. Obviously, this is one of those things, man. There's a lot of negativity with people that aren't being used like a lot. Now, whether their use is proper, improper, mismanaged, just didn't work out for whatever reason, whatever you want to argue it is, the bottom line is there's not enough room at the top for everybody. But what we do know is people like MJF, who was essentially no one had ever really heard about him besides maybe 180,000, maybe 80,000 people ever or less, 10,000 people in the indie scene. I don't know. But MJF has gotten himself over and become one of the top mainstays in AEW now. The Acclaimed. I mentioned this a long time ago. They were one of my favorite acts. I think they were one of your favorite acts too out there. And over time, we just loved to favorite them even more. And now the Acclaimed and MJF are some of the biggest names in the company. Darby Allin is another big-time favorite. And these are guys that were homegrown talent that were first discovered, really, by most of us through AEW. So bringing in a guy like El Idolo, Andrade, or bringing in a guy like Buddy Murphy, these are two guys that have the personality on the microphone of a dead stool. Okay, so I've always said that, I don't think that this is going to be much. And you can go back and watch my reviews. You can watch my reaction to when these guys joined AEW. I said, so what? So what? Yes, they can go out there and perform in great wrestling matches, but they have no personality and character besides that. The only way to connect with the crowd is through their wrestling, and that's their only ability to do that. I said that Andrade should be a crazy mob boss type of guy and do crazy stuff, almost similar a little bit to Brody Lee, but they would just do such insane stuff as a mob boss. It would be really fun. Now, AEW never really executed that idea or plan that I had. They sort of like teased it a little bit, but more of a funny way, so it never got over, of course, because why would it when a guy can't speak? When a guy can't speak, you want this guy to come off like a psychopath, a Emil Mascaris, and an 80s villain to the highest degree. But they didn't do that. So all we're left with is Andrade saying things and saying, like, sort of, and then basically him just wrestling. And his wrestling is wonderful, of course. But other than that, there's no connection to the audience. So he's missing, and Andrade right now is expressing his frustration over Twitter, basically complaining about what's up. AEW has its hands in too many pots with New Japan, Ring of Honor. It's too confusing for the average wrestling fan. For the 250,000 marks and smart marks who are, waxing their carrots all over themselves to these things, it's wonderful. And I do agree with, sort of supplying that hardcore, dorky side of the fandom with their fill of nerdery. But, for most other people, they don't understand it. But what we do know is the Acclaimed are over because of how they speak in the microphone, because of their fun that they're having, and because that they're fully confident almost in what they're doing. And the only time the Acclaimed ever has a setback is when somebody suspends them for saying something too real. So same thing with MJF. What do these people have in common? Their mouths got them in trouble a few times for real in AEW. Funny how when someone's mouth gets them in trouble for real because they keep it real and they have a good time with it and they're having fun and they're being super confident, that those are the people that get over in AEW, almost like D-Generation X and The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. When you unleash people on the microphone, suddenly the company, oh my God, things start going well. Even a CM Punk, of course. But CM Punk isn't even here right now, and he probably isn't coming back, it looks like, maybe. Or if AEW is smart, they'll make it seem like that. And I would form the faction of the EVPs. Make the AEW Elite the EVPs. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the EVP Elite, and if you cross us just like CM Punk, you'll be gone in a flash. And I would just make the EVPs. And I said the new NWO the other day, and people were like, the NWO, you're a joke. No, I'm not saying that Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and all these guys are the NWO or like the NWO. More like a right to censor type of group. And I said this weeks ago. Now a few other people are saying this too, but the fact of the matter is I said this weeks ago, and I was trying to say, no, not like the NWO, that they're going to be that cool. They're going to be bad guys, no doubt about it. They're going to be the all-elite EVPs. And AEW can use the fact that Punk is gone or Ace Steel is gone or these other people are gone. And then these guys can be the bad guys claiming that, yeah, we got rid of these people. You know what I mean? Because that's what we do. And if you cross us, we'll get rid of you too. I just think that this is a gold mine of content for AEW to use. And if they don't use it, it's a huge mistake. It's a massive mistake if they don't use this. Everything I'm saying in this video, I believe what I'm saying right now is super critical. And if this isn't on the plate at AEW, man, you're out of your minds. But you're going to see more people cross back over to WWE. And so now you're going to see people be more happy to be at WWE and people to be happy at AEW. So when you have people happy to be there, assuming MJF is happy to be there, and assuming the Acclaimed is happy to be there, it certainly seems like they're happy to be there. And guys like Darby Allin are excited to be there, and Jon Moxley are excited to be there. Well, slowly you're starting to build up a core of a locker room again, of positivity, of guys wanting to outdo each other, and there's a little bit of on edge, but overall it's a positive atmosphere of people wanting to kick ass, and they're happy to be there. So you're starting to build up that locker room trust, and that there's a word I'm looking for that I can't find because of my brain-damaged ass. Chemistry, I guess, but not chemistry. It's the word of, the feeling of things are going well, where we have good locker room sanity. I'm going to think of the word later, and it's going to drive me nuts. People are going to leave it down below. In fact, you know what? Morale, that's the word I was looking for. A good amount of. I admit I paused the video to go look up the word because I couldn't think of it. By the way, if you ever wonder if alcohol affects your brain, it does, because I'm not the smartest guy ever, right? But I did pass the MCAS test, the GED test, and a college entry test. Okay, so just because I am a moron with many things, one of the things I was always very smart with was words. I was always good at finding new words and big words to use and their definitions, and I would bring them up in conversations and I would use them correctly. Sometimes I wouldn't always know the exact definition of the word, but I would know how it's supposed to be used and I would still use it. But nowadays, dude, I struggle with words like crazy, and I swear to God, this started around the age of 26 or 25, that I started noticing like my use of vocabulary was like I would get stuck randomly on a word that I should know or already knew. And I believe it has to do with binge drinking. I think it's binge alcohol drinking, because it started around just after my third year of binge drinking that I did back then. So if you wonder if alcohol affects your mind and things like that, it does. At least it did for me. I believe it. I really do, because I had a much sharper vocabulary and ability to shoot out words. And that's why I think you see guys like 60s and 70s, guys like Jim Ross, and other people, announcers, where sometimes they can't find a word that they normally would just ease right into, and that's when like Excalibur or somebody takes over for a second. I believe I've hit that point now at my age of 38, so who knows how much worse it will get later. Luckily, I have the energy to kind of fumble around or move to the next thing, even though I can't find the word, but it's definitely there. So that's just a little, a public service announcement. If you're 20 to 28 years old, and you're thinking about, continuing your binge drinking, and you notice things like, might want to tone it down a little bit, or look up some brain-enhancing supplements and get rolling on that. Do a lot of crossword puzzles or something. I don't know. It's always that type of memory. But anyway, tonight is Monday Night Raw. I'm going to be live. I'm sorry I didn't do a lot. My son is still dealing with pneumonia. He has a pneumonia right now. His oxygen levels are still curious. Scary in some ways, but he is trending upwards slightly. He was really better for a few days, and then he started trending down a little bit here, and now he's sort of like, he's trended upwards, but it's trending, it's whatever. Anyway, it's kind of freaky. So we've been taking care of him. Leah took him to the doctor today. He has a lot of things going on, nebulizers and steroids and things like that. My youngest is kind of the runt. So everybody that said they're wondering how things are going, thank you. He's all right, but it's going to be Friday. We'll really know by Friday. This Friday coming up, if he's gone up, and then by Monday, the next after the weekend, if he needs to have 3 to 4 really, to me, consistent days of, doesn't really need treatment anymore, and he's getting better, he stays better. But right now there's like steroids and nebulizers and antibiotics going on, and he's come down a little bit. So it's like you got to have that. Once he's finished everything by Friday, I won't know till next Monday or Tuesday that, hey, he looks good, and then the next week he's good, then he's out of the deal. So we'll see. But that being said, tonight's Monday Night Raw. I will be live tonight after Raw. Hopefully I will see it. I will say that if any of my co-hosts are listening to this, people like Rastafa, people like Luke Rojas, other people, Devious Dave, anybody out there, if you guys watch Raw tonight, I may be a little bit stuck at work tonight, and therefore I may see the entire Monday Night Raw tonight. However, I may only see a half of the show tonight. So if I only see a half of Raw tonight, then I probably will be going to a co-host immediately tonight. That way they can fill in the gaps that I missed. But it is possible that I see the entire Raw, so it's not a big deal at all. But just throwing it out there that if anybody wants to be part of the stream tonight, I will be taking more calls than usual, potentially, and I will potentially going to the Discord earlier. Now, I don't know that, and I won't know that until tonight, but I'll be interested to see what Raw does tonight with everything. If you guys have comments about how AEW should handle talent, how WWE is handling things, or any wrestling news that's out there that I haven't talked about you want me to talk about, there's still some time for me to record a video. Leave a comment down below. And if you guys want to help me, my show, or just me out, or you want to support what I do, think about leaving a super thanks down below. All right, and if you leave one, I will pin it to the top of this channel. It will fund my streams, fund the show, and it will very much help us out. Or you guys can use the paypal.me/Joe Cronin Show for direct stuff or private stuff down below. paypal.me/Joe Cronin Show. Or use the super thanks down below if you want to get a little love from the JCS audience down below, because you'll be pinned to the top. Thank you guys. I hope Raw's good tonight. Follow me on Instagram, instagram.com/Joe Cronin Show, TikTok @Joe Cronin Show, and Patreon. If you can, another huge way to support what we do here is Patreon. It's massively important, obviously. So if you can check out Patreon, please give it a look and give me some support over there. That would be fire if you did that. It's a monthly contribution. You unlock thousands of podcasts not heard here on YouTube. What do you guys think about Buddy Murphy, Andrade, all these people? Should they go somewhere else, stay where they are, whatever? You let me know down below. Here's some other videos that you can, and if you can't do any of the things that I just mentioned, at the very least, continue enjoying the free content, or at least watch the commercials. Here's some more content popping up. Binge watch me right now. They don't want you to watch my show on YouTube because I am controversial and because I say naughty things. Here's more of my naughty things videos. Keep watching. I'm Joe Cronin, and I'll see you guys later. Can this video get to 100 likes? I hope it can. Or baby dolphins will suffer and die.